Well, welcome to the program. The Russia-Ukraine war keeps impacting global food supply chains, and Ghana's major export earner, being cocoa, is not left out. The chief executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin-Edu, says the situation has skyrocketed fertilizer prices, making it next to impossible to import the needed ingredients for cocoa cultivation. Take a listen to him, especially when he's called for an emergency national strategy for cocoa farmers, saying the acute shortage of fertilizer will last for not less than 2 years.
The coming years is going to be very difficult for us as a sector and also for our farmers because, the war in Ukraine has also come to compound the adverse effects of the COVID pandemic, to the extent that the basic ingredients or elements needed in producing fertilizers and other chemicals are going to be difficult to come by. So we have to brace ourselves for the coming years, maybe 1 or 2 years, and expect that prices of fertilizers are not going to be the same. Even getting the quantities, the fertilizers, the quantities, because essentially, the very basic elements that are needed to produce the fertilizers will not be there because of the war. So it will mean that management committee will have to come up with strategic direction, and then some strategic guidelines for our farmers. It has also affected all the parts of the industry, including the Cocoa Research Institute. So in these difficult times, we are calling on the new management to give leadership. There's one issue: show your class. We want you to provide the leadership that will ensure prudence in the management of affairs at Cocoa Research Institute. We believe that, with time, we will overcome these difficulties. The situation has also been aggravated by the attack in Ukraine, that the ongoing war in Ukraine. And CREC is going to be more affected because you are talking about the active ingredients that will be needed in the production of essential inputs, fertilizers and chemicals. Ukraine is affected, so getting our sulfate ammonia is going to be difficult. The same Belarus, and then Russia. These are the centers where we get these basic, elements.
And we're expecting to speak to the head of public affairs at Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo, on this matter, especially when we shall be exploring the best avenues that Cocoa Board will be taking. A national strategy, it seems, to cushion cocoa farmers from the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war. We're working the lines to get in touch with Fifi Boafo. When we get him, we shall have this discussion with him. In the meantime, German investors in Ghana's automobile policy are expressing frustration over what they describe as painfully high import duties at the ports, which have increased their cost of production by 15%. Now, these investors, some of whom have established car assembly factories in the country, say the high cost of doing business in Ghana is scaring prospective investors from assembling vehicles in the country. Daniel Krul is German ambassador to Ghana.
There's a very, very promising horizon. Of course, the fundamentals have to be set right. Many companies are very excited about the African Continental Free Trade process, where you are very engaged in negotiations, and we all hope that you will be successful in promoting this important idea. we of course all share what Stephen already mentioned, the concern about the financial fundamentals. I might not be the only one who is still not convinced that the measures that have been adopted will be sufficient to not only muddle through until the end of the year, but really make sure that the economy can take off for the coming years. With the new German government, we have an important new focus. It's not entirely new focus, but the focus has become even stronger on changing the energy matrix of the German industry. So since the election, we sense that also in German industry there's a change in attitude towards the energy issue. Before it was more about trying to delay the process. Now, clearly, the industrial leaders in German industry have accepted the challenge and now considered their goal that they will actively work on changing the energy matrix. The issue has become even more pressing with the Russian aggression on the Ukraine and the need for a response and the given dependency on energy imports from Russia. And I'm mentioning this here because I strongly believe that Ghana could play a more active role in this field. I mentioned this also to your minister already. I'm referring to projects of green hydrogen production all around the world, and we are trying to get not so much the government, but more so the Ghanaian industry to look into this field of future export potential.
You're still watching The Marketplace. We now get back to our development story where we are looking at the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war on cocoa yields in Ghana. Head of Public Affairs at Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo, joins us for more. Fifi, we're grateful that you could join us. To what extent has Ghana's cocoa sector been affected by development in Ukraine?
Well, at present, it is difficult to tell, except that we acknowledge that it has some possible effect on the industry. Thus, we say so because if we do our analysis, we know that there are some buyers who buy from Ghana and then also sell to companies in Russia and then also in Ukraine. They have yet to give us an indication that considering what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, they will not be able to continue selling to them, which will have effect on their business and then also how the quantities they buy from us. So that's one side of it. Another potential effect we have on our business has to do with the fertilizers we import. Because you'll recall that a few weeks ago, the president talked about the fact that about 30% of the fertilizers used in Ghana is actually procured from Russia. Also, the base that is used for the manufacturing of fertilizer is also sourced from that country. So certainly, considering what is happening there, it has some possible effect on our industry, but it is too early for us to be able to quantify the effect it will have on our industry.
Indeed, but of course the chief executive has also called for an emergency of a national strategy of a sort to cushion cocoa farmers. In what shape could this take? Well,
the chief executive talked about the fact that if you look at the policy we've used as a country in terms of fertilizer distribution to farmers, none of them has yielded the desired result, and there's a need for us as a country to have a definite position on the way forward. He says so because if we look at the free fertilizer policy that has been implemented, it had its own challenges. For example, people smuggling it across the country, people selling it and not giving it to the farmers who are the people expected to be the beneficiaries of the policy. The other side of it is also the issue about subsidized fertilizers. These are subsidized, and then the expectation is that farmers will take it and pay the remaining amount of money. But we have a huge politicization of this process such that farmers take it and they are under the impression that they are not supposed to pay, because indeed politicians go and tell them don't pay, because if I should win power, no matter the quantities you've taken, you are not supposed to pay. But it's a business the farmers are running. The expectation is that when they take it and pay, the board will have the capacity to also procure and let them have it the subsequent years. So you have these farmers who have taken the fertilizers, they are not paying, and they are also demanding, when are we getting our next year allocation? So there's a need for us as a nation to take a decision that this is what works for us, take away the politicization of it, and find a means of addressing the issue as something that confronts us as a country. Do we do the outright sale? Is it a free fertilizer? Is it the subsidized? These are the challenges we have. So we do both the plus and the minuses of each of the policies. And then we all come to a conclusion that this is what works for us as a country. And then we take away the politicization of it and implement the one that works for us in order to build an industry that serves us as a people.
Indeed, and we shall continue monitoring this, of course, from your end as well. We appreciate your input. But just before we let you go, Fifi, there is this matter regarding some fresh news indicating that Cadbury is facing some accusations of assault when it comes to child labor on cocoa farms in Ghana. We know that Cocoa Board has been putting so much effort in dealing with such cases. Walk us through some of the role that your establishment continues to embark on to ensure that, children are safe when it comes to plowing the land, tilling the land of cocoa farms.
Well, it's a concern anytime we hear that child labor is an issue in our country, and the expectation is that these concerns will be addressed and we will not continue to have this problem on our hands as a country. But Ghana Cocoa Board, for example, if we look at the interventions we've rolled out, we are making sure that the application of chemicals, the pruning, these are done largely by staff of Cocoa Board who Cocoa Board pay. So in pollination, for example, is that say that kids from anywhere are involved in that process. However, there are some activities that are undertaken by the cocoa farmers themselves, and unfortunately, that is where sometimes you have some of these reports coming in. Even though we do not
I'm afraid that we've lost Fifi Boafo there, but he's the head of public affairs at Cocoa Board, explaining to us the matters regarding child labor across cocoa farms, of course not leaving behind the situation of Russia-Ukraine's impact on cocoa fertilizer in Ghana. We're grateful that he could join us. Unfortunately, we had to end the conversation due to a terrible connection there. But in the meantime, the Ghana Standards Authority will begin rolling out some standardization programs for local innovations which have the potential of solving global challenges. According to the Director General of the authority, Professor Alex Dodu, this will deal with issues relating to patents.
Need to have, for me, I call it a family conversation on how to bring those who are working. I mean, take Swami Away or Makola or any of the informal markets, and we are dead as a country. So why are we not figuring out what it takes? And they are organized. If you go to Swami alone, you get at least 200 different associations, all with their heads and with their constitutions. If you go to Makola, the Queen Mothers are organized. We just haven't thought of how they think, because let's face it, we have also been biased. We just take the Western model and think it works. Asusu and Co have worked that, later they came and called it microfinance. Now we say it's microfinance. I mean, it's frustrating because we have good things. And I know as university people, you guys would blame us, and you are right, that we, the professors, haven't probably domesticated these things enough, or rather having used the traditional wisdom and giving it a scientific explanation. And in fact, my final point would be that look at Veronica Bucket. A Ghanaian creation. We did not give it an exciting name. We did not give it a patent. And the whole world is using it. But the poor Madame Vero, she's still around. She's alive. She didn't get 1 penny from it. I mean, it's painful. If she had been of a different color, trust me, we would have said, wow, V bucket and the whole world, and we'll import it. And so it's really that we have everything, but we just need to position them well, work with each other, especially those who come with the ideas, and most of whom will tend not to have a degree, but they are creative, they are blessed with the creativity, and help to formalize it. And then if we do that, and definitely the Standards Authority has said that we are coming up with standards for those products. I mean, we've started already, and this year we'll roll them out so that they can have at least a mark saying that this is standardized. That would give confidence, and that would definitely give market access. If they start making their money, they will also send their children to school to manage their businesses and keep some of us unemployed.
Now, Seagull Ghana Limited, dealer in HLP branded products from India, says it will support the Ghanaian economy through the creation of job opportunities. The company, in a meeting with local dealers, said it was poised to leverage various opportunities presented to them to expand and cushion the teeming unemployed youth. Here is the Chief Executive Officer of Seagull Ghana Limited, Milind Garud.
At the company's meeting with earth dealers in the country, they revealed plans to expand earth operations to other parts of the country. The Ghanaian-based Indian company vowed to partner other companies in that quest. Here's the Chief Executive Officer for the company, Milind Garud.
Trip to India for the dealers making maximum number of business. We'll come out with the figures and we will reach you personally for details. Meanwhile, before we close, I will request you to join us for dinner at the restaurant. The floor is open for the questions now, if you have any.
Seagull Ghana Limited says it will also digitize its operations and promote small-scale businesses.
Now, Star Assurance Ghana says its new product, Pokua Insurance, a virtual assistant, is open to all customers. According to the Chief Executive Officer for Star Assurance Ghana, Boatima Bafo-Iwa, the company remains committed to leverage technology to make insurance easier and more convenient for its customers and beyond. She revealed that the company will continue to invest in digital tools to expand its operations.
It is estimated 133 million jobs will be created by 2030, with 75 million jobs being lost to technology. Unemployment remains
At the launch, the Chief Executive Officer of Star Assurance noted that the company will continue to invest in digital tools to expand its operations. She explained that the Pokua Insurance is not only limited to smartphone customers, but other phone users to access the services, as well as direct brokers, agents, and other partners who do businesses with the company. Here's the Chief Executive Officer for the company, Boatima Bafo-Iwa.
Our biggest thing is we want to ensure that insurance reaches everybody. As you know, the insurance penetration is very low, and Pokua has both the USSD and the WhatsApp Insure. So even if you can't go on WhatsApp, you always have the option of using your YAM phone or any other phone, and you get the same services end to end, very easy. You can buy insurance policies, you can renew insurance policies, as well as lodge your claim and check the process at what point your claims is at.
She explained the uniqueness of the product and the need to embark on such innovative ways of reaching out to its customers.
Now, what makes Pokua different from other virtual assistants in the market is that we've actually taken into consideration our intermediaries, which is our brokers and our agents, and they can actually do the policies for their clients through Pokua. So that is something that is different from other insurance companies who have launched their virtual assistants.
Pokua Insurance is a strategic approach by the company to reach out to the insuring public.
Now, a certified human resource business partner at Talent Human Capital has bemoaned the need for the youth to turn the attention towards emerging job opportunities on the global market. Now, this is due to the issues of growing unemployment in the country. Speaking at the Kumasi Digital Jobs Fair, Emmanuel Ejapon says emerging opportunities are driven by technology, hence the need for improved education for such opportunities. Nana Yaojima was at the Digital Kumasi Jobs Fair and has filed this report.
It is estimated 133 million jobs will be created by 2030, with 75 million jobs being lost to technology. Unemployment remains a major challenge in Ghana, despite efforts by government to deal with it. Emmanuel Ejapon explains job seekers will need modern skill sets to fit into the modern job market.
What you have is what you learned from university. It's a standard for you. But what can get you the job is the skills that you have. That's why we came to identify the jobs, the skill sets. So we need a skill set for the next couple of decades. That's why we analyze it. So you need adaptability, you need problem solving, you need creativity, you need analytics. That will help you. So if you are there and you say that, oh, media IT, no, media yeah. They're going to catch you because your job that you need must go through a certain process. We call it 8 years. That job is also prescribed by what we call machine learning. So when it goes through the system, it then sieves it before it gets to the employer. So if you don't understand these things, you won't get it.
The event brought together young people of diverse backgrounds to learn about emerging job opportunities and how to apply for them. Players in various industries pitched camps to interact with participants at the event. Project lead at Kumasi Hive, Priscilla Sewa Jesse, believes the fair creates the needed opportunities for the youth.
Today we have various industrial partners here who are exhibiting their vacancies here for the attendees of the program. And there are HR firms here who are also inspecting CVs here for participants of the program. The industrial partners, after everything, would make their vacancies available to participants, and whoever qualifies to be in there gets an opportunity.
And that'll be it for the marketplace with me, Charles Ayete. But you know what? I'm going to leave you with tips on how best to spend your money and invest it at the same time in this edition of Money Lab. Many thanks for watching.
Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Money Lab. Many people can ask this question: at what point in time will it make sense to sell your stocks or shares? Well, when you hit your price target, for example, you buy a stock at 1 cedi and the stock reaches 2 cedis per share, you can choose to exit because you've met your price target. Also, you can consider the fundamentals or the quality of the reports, the financial reports of a company, and choose to exit. Probably they might be deteriorating. Now, you can also choose to sell your shares when a better opportunity comes along in the market.